Thank you. As always, I say thank you for being on time. As a coach, that always means a lot. You got to be on time. That's without saying. So thank you all for coming. And again, I'm just letting everybody come and join us before I kick off. And for those of you that were with me last week, I really appreciate it, and I hope you had a good time. I know that I did. And this is a part of a webinar series that I'm putting together called Champion Webinars, right? I always say I'm in the business of building champions, champion people, champion teams, champion companies. And I wanted to give something to each of you and to your teams and to your companies here as we approach the fourth quarter and move through the fourth quarter. So my whole intent is to give you as much information as I can to help you along your high performance journey, and at the same time help you achieve the results that you're capable of and that your team is capable of. So that's why I'm here with you today, and I appreciate you all coming out. We got really good numbers that signed up for this, so I'm super excited about that. And something that I shared in one of my posts last week was, I never did a webinar before. It was my first time hosting my own webinar. Usually I go on other people's webinars or podcasts, etc. So it was really exciting to see last week. I had 60 people register. It was really great. And today we have over 70. So super cool. And I say thank you all for helping me overcome, my fear of running my own webinar. So even coaches have fear at times and hesitation. So thank you all so much. And with that, the format that I like to use, I realized this last week, it's a little bit hard for me to see questions sometimes while I have the presentation up. So bear with me, and I'll do my best to answer every question. So as things come up, feel free, write them in the chat. For those of you that are on live with me here, write them in the chat. And at the end, I'll address everyone's question. I'll go one by one, and that's how we'll do this thing. So what I do is I'll do a screen share, and that's how we'll kick off this. So here's what I'm going to do. Right now I'm going to share my screen for those of you that can see it. If you're driving, I'll do my best to explain every slide the best that I can. I'll give you my all. That was my commitment to you today. So here we go. Let's kick off. So today, what inspired this was, I coach so many people that are working from home. Go figure. Everybody's working from home today. So my clientele that I get to coach from home has definitely gone up. Fortunate, I've worked from home for many years, and it's something that I've gotten used to. My home sometimes is my home office, which I'm in today. Other times it's a hotel room. Other times it's the car. So, and for those of you that travel quite a bit, you know what I mean. A lot of my years spent on the road, traveling, speaking, coaching, and just always on the move. So I'm happy to be in my home office with you today talking about working from home, so I can help you be better at working from home, but also make you a better leader and help your team be better while they work at home. Because this is a new thing for a lot of people. We don't know also, is this going to be a new thing that's permanent? Is this going to be a new thing that's still temporary? Or is this going to be a new thing where it's a hybrid model? So today I'm going to talk about all that, and we're going to dig in on this, how to lead your team to victory while working from home. And I said your team, but I also mean you, because I said this last time, great leadership always starts with you. It always starts with you. So my job, my duty as a coach is to develop people and develop talent. I always say I'm a coach, I'm not a speaker. I'm a coach that happens to speak, not a speaker that happens to coach. So I'm a coach first. So that's what I'm here to do for you today. So I'm going to coach you on working from home, and then I hope that you take what you learned today, even one thing, and you apply it not just to yourself, but also to the teams that you work with and teams that you lead. So working from home, is it good or is it bad? And I think we've been doing it long enough now, most of us, to decide for ourselves whether it's good or bad. And like I said, we get to decide. A buddy of mine, I wrote a book for him. He recently passed from cancer, Matt Desi DiStefano, and that was one of his big lines. We always get to choose how we approach the day. And when you're going through something like he went through, he had to be very aware of the choices that he made. So So we get to decide whether this working from home thing is good or this working from home thing is bad. So here's the good. I put a little list together for you, and I'll read it with you. We have no commute, right? We have a new routine. The office is at home. That's a good thing, I think. Casual dress code. We're in the comforts of our own home. You create the vibe and the environment. You work at your own pace. You're unsupervised. You take breaks as desired. There's a start and an end to work, which is really on your own terms. You decide when you start and you decide when you end. You get more time with kids if you have them. You get more time with your spouse or your significant other if you have one. More time to be home, right? That's good, right? We have these beautiful homes, and oftentimes we don't spend much time inside of them. And at the same time, there's no gossip. So that's the good, right? There's a lot of good there that I just shared with you. Now I want to share with you the bad. Hey coach, that slide that I see didn't look like it changed too much. So the bad, right? There's no commute. Some of us need that 20 to 60 minutes to get to work so we can have our time, our alone time, where we can listen to what we want to listen to. We could, turn our car into a concert hall. New routine. Maybe I liked my old routine and now I have this new routine, so it appears as bad. The office is at home. I know for some people that I've coached, they've never worked from home. Their office, one day it started on the deck because it was warm out. The next day it was in the basement of their house. Another time it was tucked in a closet. Another day it was on the kitchen table. So I've watched the office change. So that's bad because we can't find a place where we can call our own, and this is where we do our work from. Casual dress code. Some people like to get dressed for work every day. Put on a nice outfit, put on their nice shoes, and show up, in a dapper way to the office. The comforts of home. Maybe for some, their home doesn't feel that comfortable anymore because they just realize there's so much chaos in the home that they can't focus. So that becomes the bad of working from home. You create the vibe. That's true. You create the vibe, but now you may have other people at home affecting your vibe. So you work at your own pace. Some of us do really well when a manager or a leader or partners are with us and pushing us and driving us. Same is true for being unsupervised. Some of us do better when somebody's watching us. Taking breaks as desired. When you work at home, you got to watch those breaks. They could be longer than they typically would be at the office because there's less guilt at home, right? So start and end work on your own terms. I've worked with a lot of, again, high performers that struggle because their day starts now at 6 in the morning and it doesn't end until 9 o'clock at night. It's just a continuous day. More time with the kids, it's great, but man, is that a lot of work. Thank God for those teachers, right? More time with spouse or significant other. Again, same thing. We love it, but at the same time, everybody needs a little bit of their own time. More time to be home, like I said, you start to notice all the things that you have to do around the house, and then you have all this work that you have to do, and then you have to maybe be a parent or a spouse. It starts to wear on you, and then there's no gossip at home. And then for some people, they love gossip, and that office gossip is something that they enjoy in a sick way. So there's the good and there's the bad. And I think it's really important to understand the good and the bad, but most importantly, we get to decide what's good and what's bad. It's all about how we look at things. And that's super, super important to understand. I want to share with you quick, as the coach, right? My biggest distraction is working from home. I have a COVID dog that we got, little Rocco the bulldog, and little Rocco loves to bark. So he could bark at any time here in the home office, just to let you know. The other thing is the landscapers, right? I don't know when they're coming, and they had all morning today to be here, but for some reason they love to come right when I have to start something. Another distraction is the fridge. Every time you walk by it, you want to open it and see what's in there. Maybe there's something you didn't see 25 minutes ago when you were just there. Then you got the desire to constantly go outside. I know I'm in Florida, so right now it's amazing outside. And in the Northeast, my favorite season, the fall, is going on. Another amazing time to be outside. So You have to manage this. Now, how do I do it? Well, simply, I mean, the desire to constantly go outside. I start my day outside and I end my day outside. And in the middle, if I could do a walk and talk, which was coined by the great Kenny Dichter of Wheels Up Private Aviation, the walk and talk, it's a great thing because it allows me to do what I need to do. But ultimately, how do I handle those things? And how should you handle those things that drive you crazy? Acceptance is really the key. We have to accept that working from home is different. It's not the same. So don't compare it to what was. Shape it into what you want it to be. And that's key. And you can only do that by accepting things like, hey, the dog may bark, the kids may come in the room, there may be some noises coming from somewhere that I don't know where they're coming from. The landscaper may come by, somebody may knock at the door, and I have to get up and answer it. So there's all of these things that we have to actually accept. Now, the hardest thing is acceptance, especially for those that I call high performers. They're rigid, they have their way, and they do not like to adapt. So this is a great time for those folks to learn something new. And acceptance is something that is really, really important. So the other thing we realize from working from home is we finally know we have time, right? That excuse of I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. You have time. You have realized for the first time just how long a day is. I know I get up some days at 5, some days at 5:30, some days at 6, but man, that wake up all the way until 10:30, 11 when I go to bed, that is a long day. So we have so much opportunity to get a lot done and also to enjoy our life, because that's something where I believe we've been totally out of balance, especially again, those high performers that put a lot of pressure on themselves. Now you should have the time, and it could scare you that you have extra time. You may not know how to handle it. You may not know what to do with it, but it's super important that you understand that how you use your time will also determine not just your results, but also how much peace and calm that you have in your life. You will kill the reactivity in your life, which is a good thing, when you actually understand time and how it applies to you. So working from home, is it good or is it bad? Like I said, we get to decide. So think about all those things I just went over and say, hey, how could I take this thing that maybe drives me a little bit crazy and flip it? How could I make it a good thing? And I found that when you can do that in your own mind, not just with working from home, but anything, that meeting, that phone call, that, you know, that work that you have to do. Like I'm editing a book right now, Habits of a Champion Team. And man, am I dragging on it. But every day I have to tell myself, hey, this is great. You wrote it already. Now you get to edit it. So that means we're that much closer to getting it out to market. So we can constantly flip things, and it's important that we do, right? So how can we make it an amazing experience? And I say, well, we can make anything a great experience when we ask great questions, and they will give us great answers. So great answers come from great questions. So how can we make this an amazing experience, this working from home? Ask yourself the question, what do I want it to be? What do I want to get out of this working from home? What do I want this working from home thing to teach me? What do I want to learn from this? What do I want to learn about myself during this time? And ultimately the question is, what do I want it, this time working from home, to be? For some people I've worked with, they've gotten in the best shape of their life physically. Others, they're rested for the first time. Now there's others that are more stressed out than they've ever been. They've never been home in one place this long. They're used to traveling. They're used to being on the road. They're not used to being still. And I tell them, listen, all those things that you don't like, all those feelings, all of that, how can we take that and make you better? How can we get you better from that point? Because all those things you feel, that's your body talking to you. You're learning in those moments. So let's talk about all those things that you're feeling and that you're going through, and how can we reshape you in a different way and pivot you towards where you should be going. And those feelings, those emotions, all of that, they're telling you something about yourself that you maybe would not have taken the time to hear or even respond to if you were too caught up in the moment. So everything that you feel, good and bad, remember there's a purpose to that. Don't forget that. There's a purpose to that. So don't spend all your time thinking about how terrible something is. Think about what it is you're being shaped to do, be, and that's super important to understand. But I always say when it comes to this, what do I want it to be? What do I want this experience to be? And you have to determine for yourself. Last week on our webinar, I talked about winning. What does winning mean to you? What do you want this work from home experience to be? And then you go and create that, right? So how can we make it an amazing experience? Now I want to get tactical with you. Now I haven't talked about your team yet, but like I said, everything that I'm teaching you, you can go ahead and work with your team on. So here's what I want. I want you to think about how we can make this an amazing experience, optimizing your schedule. I'm going to tell you this little secret. You don't have to work all day to be great at whatever it is you do. You don't need to work all day to get optimal results. As a matter of fact, if you're working from 6 in the morning till 9 p.m. at night, your results over time will be poor, almost guaranteed. Every high performer that actually gets results that I've worked with, they have a very normal workday. They're working at 9 and they're ending at 5 or 6. They're done. They fill in their day appropriately. They make time for their physical activity, which we're going to get to next. They make time for recovery. They make time for family. They make time for all those other things. Now, the nervous high performer, the paranoid high performer, is somebody that always feels like they have to be on, working. They're going to miss something. They're going to miss that email and it's going to be costly. They're always in anticipation mode. Very dangerous to be. Very dangerous state and place to be. Because that person doesn't trust and they don't let things come to them. So let's talk about optimizing schedule. We have a clear start and a clear stop to our day, 4 blocks of work, and we prioritize our blocks. I'm going to go over this in the next slide. Next, designated time for health, fitness, and personal development. Now, when it comes to your health, your fitness, and your personal development, unless I'm working with somebody one-on-one, I'm not going to tell you what you have to do for your fitness, the exact mode, the exact program. I'm going to say this, and I said it last week. Choose something you like. Choose something you enjoy. And that's a really important thing. And it's the same thing. I use this example all the time when I talk nutrition with people. You know, there's a lot of talk about kale being really good for you. And some people like kale, but a lot of people hate it. Now, if you were to put kale on everybody's diet plan because it's good for you, what do you think the chances are of the people that don't like it actually staying committed and focused to eating kale with consistency? It's very low. So I look at exercise, fitness, and physical training the same way. We have to do things that are good for you because you enjoy them. And if you enjoy them, you're going to be more consistent in those things. Okay? So every day, we need time for health and fitness, personal development. I distill that down. Stay on top of what you eat, what you do physically, and what you input into your brain. Very important. And the other thing is too, because we have extra time and because we're alone at times now, it opens up fertile ground for us to constantly be seeking and searching and acquiring. So some of you may feel actually burnt out right now, overloaded. You've taken in so much information that you're actually exhausted. And my recommendation for you is focus on the nutrition and focus on the physical. And you could actually give the personal development a break right now. I find today in America, people are almost becoming overdeveloped and underperforming because they're taking in so much that they don't even know what they're taking in anymore. So simple is really key. And that's why I say when it comes to your exercise, something I like, something I'll do consistently. When it comes to nutrition, things I enjoy eating that I know are good for me in portions that are appropriate for my frame and my physical goals. Next, know what you need to be great. What do you need to be great? Do you know? The one thing I loved about working with a player like Derek Jeter was he knew exactly what he needed to do every day to perform at optimal level on the field. I can't say the same for a lot of others out there that I've coached in the business space. there's a lot of shotgun offense that goes on in the business world. They get up, boom, hit the ground running, and they run until they can't run anymore. And then they do it again tomorrow. And then they do it again the next day. And over time, that's a depleted individual that's smoked, burnt out, and not performing well. And you know what happens? We got to take them all the way back to step one, get on top of their schedule, get on top of their health, fitness, recovery, and develop them in a different way. So you have to know what you need to be great. And I'm going to tell you real quickly how you do that. I believe in doing everything in a 4-week test. I do this, I see how I respond over 4 weeks. If it's positive, I keep it. If it's negative, I dump it. So whenever you're experimenting on yourself as it relates, it could be anything from leadership to physical to nutrition to sleep techniques, breathing techniques, whatever it may be. 4-week test. Any less than that, you're not giving it a fair shake. And any more than that, you don't need more time than 4 weeks to know if something works or not. So, but you have to know what you need to be great. And that's a really, really important bullet here. And I should probably do a webinar just on that, knowing what you need to be great. And maybe I'll do that in the future. So let's talk about this. I'm trying to hide myself here. How can we make it an amazing experience, this working from home thing? Like I said, let's talk about optimizing schedule and knowing where you're best. So for those of you that aren't calling in through the phone, but are actually on this webinar, you're going to see I put a chart on the right and it says wake up time, wake up at the same time every day. So I break my day into blocks, and I have blocks that are personal and I have blocks that are for work. And I have to balance the work with the personal. So here I have 3 work blocks, I have 3 personal blocks, and I have 4 work blocks. So the way it works is, and I'll read this off. Again, for those of you that are watching, you can see this, but wake up at the same time, work out, eat, shower, and go. That's the first personal block. I found this to be very effective for people. If you wake up, work out, and then you eat, shower, and go, meaning go attack your day, you're going to be in a great position to have great success in your first 2 work blocks. Now, I want to say this. As it relates to your work blocks, I never advocate working more than 90 minutes straight. So you work 90 minutes, you take a break for anywhere between 15 and 30. Then you work a next 90 minutes. And then you'll see here, I put lunch and personal time. And then you come back and you work block 3 for 90 minutes and you work block 4 for 90 minutes. And the great part about that is if you're doing 4 focused 90-minute work blocks per day, that's a lot of effective, focused work. That's 6 hours of work a day. How much more do you need? And really, how much more can you actually do? You can't do much more. You know, capacity of 6 hours of good, hard, focused work is a good day's work, especially when you've got your workout in, you have a lunch block in there for you to have a little bit of time for you, yourself, your kids, whatever you want to do. You can fill in those personal blocks however you want. And then after you do your 4th work block for the day, that should take you to about 5 o'clock, 5:30. Then it turns over to your last personal block for the day, where you could do anything from more working out to spending time with the kids, having dinner with the family, going for a family walk, whatever it may be. Those personal blocks are yours. But like I said, you have to own them. And I believe working out should always be early in the day and in that first personal block. So that way it's over, it's done. It supplies you energy to get through your day. So I said this too, you have to have a clear start and you have to have a clear stop. So what I say is wake up at the same time and go to bed at the same time every day. Run these 4 blocks throughout the day for work and 3 personal blocks, and you'll be very, very effective. The other thing I put on this slide is this: where are you best? So you also have to know, where are you best? When is your energy peak, your focus peak, and where you just feel in the zone? Does that happen in work block 1, right when you get to work? Or does it happen in work block 2 after you've settled in for about 90 minutes? Or are you somebody that performs better later in the day? So what I do when I coach people is we have to understand, where are you best? Are you best in the morning or afternoon? Early morning or late morning? Early afternoon or late afternoon? And when we understand that, what's awesome is we could put the appropriate work in the appropriate box. So high focus work needs to be where you're your best. Certain phone calls that are high priority, that require high focus, maybe with a board, that requires you to be in a block of focus. So you have to determine which block are you best. And things like answering emails, catch up phone calls, simple things, those should go in your blocks where you realize your energy is and focus is maybe not as high, but it's also not as required. So again, understand this block structure. It gives you 6 hours of good work a day. And if you really needed to add another one, I'm sure you can squeeze it in there somehow. Like I said, designate time for health and fitness and personal development every day. Something I always say is own your morning, and you got a great chance of winning your day. So if you can work out in the morning, like I said, you can get some good reading in the morning, like I said. For those of you that like to journal and write in the morning, great time. You got all that done. You have been tended to early. And because of that, you have so much more to give everybody else. So whatever comes at you throughout the day, you're not saying, oh man, I haven't done anything for myself today. I haven't got my reading in. I haven't got my exercise in. I have all this stuff to do. You don't want to approach your day having a lot of stuff to do that's relevant to your own health and well-being and vitality and energy. Do that early, and the rest of the day you focus on nothing but raw execution, growing your business, growing your company, growing your team, building. Spend your day building, but you'll be great at building when you get yourself handled early. Get yourself done first. Here, I said, you got to know what you need to be great. Self-assess and evaluate. Take your temperature throughout the day, week, and month. Give yourself what you need. Again, we talk about folks, that are working from home for the first time. I look at this as a tremendous time for you to gain self-awareness. Awareness maybe you didn't have prior to because you were so busy just running on the mill. I got to get the train. I got to get this. I got to do that. I got to hit. And all that. That's exhausting. So 2 weeks ago, I was interviewing Adam Contos. That's who this picture is. He's the CEO of Remax Realty Group, big company here in the United States in the real estate sector. And we had a great conversation about his day. And he said, listen, I have to wake up at 4:30 because I'm an early riser. And my wife and I like to be at the gym by like 5:30 and done by 6:30. And I like to be showered, having eaten, and be in my office by 7:30, 8 o'clock, ready for a kickoff call with my team. And I said, man, you're doing exactly what I'm saying. And he said, since I've been doing that, I feel great. My body's in great condition. My mind is sharp. And I just feel like I'm attacking my day. So I wanted to use him as an example because this is somebody, that's leading a big company, but is doing what I'm talking about. But here's the thing, he's not lazy. He's 100% committed to the result that he wants out of his life. And so can you be as well. So we're going to switch this. I talked a little bit about you there, what I'd love to see you do and how I'd like you to handle your day. Again, I want you to teach your people this as well. But I think a really important next question is, how do we become champion leaders? So for those of you that maybe you're not leading anybody right now, you're leading yourself. You're always leading somebody. So this applies to you as well. How do you become a champion leader? And I said simply this: your people need you. So even if you're on a team, you could be a leader and on a team. You don't necessarily have to be leading the team because you're in a management position. You could still be a leader. And remember this, your people need you. Your teammates need you. Those people you lead need you. And I put this slogan here and I said, wartime leaders are never forgotten. So you know, we can look at this as a little bit of it's so different. This is wartime in business. So your leadership will not go unnoticed or unrecognized during times like this. You just have to take the time and you have to invest your time, your energy into people. So if you do what I said earlier, managing your day, managing your schedule, man, you're going to be able to manage your people and lead your people like a true champion. And that's what this is about today. So this slide here is interesting. I have a bottom row, and the bottom row is things that I believe are important that every leader does or finds a way to do daily. These are in baseball, these are your ground balls. This is your batting practice. These are the things that you have to do every day to make sure that you're sharp, and to make sure, most importantly, that your people are sharp and feeling good. Because I want to say this to you. Being great at business and getting results in your life, so much of it has to do with just you feeling good. Yet how many leaders take the time to make their people feel good? Now, you know, I'm a coach, so I'm not here to just make people feel good because I want to make them feel good. I want to make them feel good because I need them to perform. I want to make them feel good because I want to see them hit their max potential. So I'm not just going to walk around the office giving people lip service here. I want people to know, hey, I'm in your corner. I'm going to push the hell out of you, but I'm also going to make you feel good about what you're doing at the same time. And I can't tell you how many leaders, even C-suiters in companies right now that I work with that say, hey, my boss hasn't talked to me, you know, and I'm getting nervous. My boss has changed the habits and patterns in which they talk to me. I'm getting nervous. I hear that all the time. So as leaders, you have to engage your people. I can remember working with the Yankees, and I remember some senior leadership. They'd walk through the hallway, walk right by me, and not even acknowledge my existence. Meanwhile, every player acknowledged my existence. There's something wrong there. As a leader, you have to acknowledge your people, and you have to know what button to push on each one and which button will create the greatest positive and favorable response for that person, their life, and their personal performance. So let's talk about these dailies. What should we do daily? We got to connect, we got to motivate, and we got to let our people know, I see you and I hear you. We have to every day let them feel connected, motivated, and that we see them and that we hear them. Super, super important. So connection. You know what, we're on our phones all day, but what we don't do is use them appropriately. Most of us are using them, you know, socially, but I would say to you, pick up your phone. Let's go old school. Those people that work for you, those people on your team, what if you gave them a call? They won't expect it. Use your phone appropriately. A text message today is something that you can use to fill in the gaps, but it's not something that has the same genuine value as a phone call. So when I coach people, I text them to keep them going, to stay connected with them, to hear what's happening just in real time, quick, but I always make time to communicate with them in person or on the phone or through a Zoom. But I got clients today that are Zoomed out. They'd rather just go old school and have a conversation. So daily, go through your list, right? Have a list of all your people and say, hey, part of my management leadership duties to be a great leader, I got to call these people. I got to know what's going on in their life. I want to know what's happening with them. Okay, I called so-and-so Monday. I called so-and-so Wednesday. So put your part of your day-to-day, one of your blocks should include a 10-minute conversation with your people. Again, if you manage workforces of a few thousand, which some of you do, it's different. You can't do that. But ask yourself, who are the 10 closest people to me that report to me that I can engage? Make the time. Minimum once a week. I said daily, but find other ways to connect. Make that a part of your leadership style. Motivation. Do a video of the day, something simple. I shot one just to LinkedIn talking about what we're doing today. It literally takes a few minutes to use this phone again in a way that's beneficial. Hey everyone, checking in with you here. Just want to let you know, bop, bop, bop. Send it to your people. Very simple. You can also create connectivity amongst your team by assigning your team members a day where they do a video, and it keeps everybody connected. Next, I see you, I hear you. Like I said, there's nothing worse than not knowing where you stand with the people that pay you. So you have to always, as the leader, let your people know, I hear you, I see you, what's going on, how you doing, how's the family? I say you have to get deeper with people. And that is very difficult for some because they're insecure in themselves. And we all have levels of insecurity, just to clear that up. I do, you do, everybody does. But when it comes to communication, and I wrote about this morning, there's different levels of communication. Hey, how's it going? And you keep moving, you don't even hear the answer. That's poor communication. But I asked them how they were doing, but you didn't care about the answer. I see you, I hear you is saying, hey, John, how you doing? How's the family? How you guys dealing with everything? How's business going? Oh yeah, that's great. And you're going level over level, you're going deeper and deeper. Yeah, here's how I'm feeling right now. And that communication, again, that's a separate webinar, but communication at depth is really effective communication. You ever walk past people again, hey, how's it going? And they're already past you. They don't even listen to what you say. You could say, I'm dying. And they'll be past you. They won't even stop. So we have to, again, let people know, I see you and I hear you. Next, because our people are spread out all over the place and we're not having this place to get together outside of a Zoom like we are today, and thank you all for coming, we have to reinforce the mission, vision, and goal of what we're trying to do. Something I always think about when I think of, I would always see people taking the train into New York City or buzzing around to their office. And I'd say, why are we all doing this? What is this? What are we doing? And this question is an important one, because if we don't know why we're doing what we do, personally and professionally, we're not going to go anywhere, or we're just going to go through the motions of things. Where I'm such a believer in being passionate about where you're going and what you're doing and how you're doing it. Like this morning, I was excited to come on here with you today. Super excited, because it's what I do. It's in line with my mission. It's in line with my vision. It's in line with my goals. And what if you could approach your day where you get up and bang, you're on the attack, but you're getting your people to be on the attack as well, because you know what Jennifer wants. You know what Michelle's looking for. You know what John Duffin wants out of life. And as a leader, when you know what your people want, now you know how to lead them. How could you lead somebody if you don't know what it is they want? There's people that have literally been sitting in offices for 10 years with other people, called their leader, their boss, their superior, and the boss and leader has no idea what that person even wants out of life. Can you see how crazy this is? And then that boss or leader gets pissed off when that person doesn't do what they want them to do. You don't even know who that person is. This is a great time for you to get to know who these people are. The next thing, again, what your people need is actually very simple. What we're talking about, I'm talking about connecting, motivating, I see you, I care, I'm interested in you, reinforcing, this is why we're here. As a company, why are you here? I'm the boss, this is why I'm here. I'm your leader, this is why I'm here. They know why I'm here, you know why they're here. Together we work to achieve goals together. Next, what else do they want? Your people. Your people want tactical how-to training and coaching. They want to know that you can help them with their needs, but you can also identify their tendencies and habits that may not be serving them. And the only way as a leader you could identify somebody's needs, tendencies, and habits that are serving them, and more specifically that are not serving them, is to, again, get to know them. So your people want to know how they can get better. They want tactical how-to. Hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you make the time to help me? Next, they want life and schedule navigation. Some of your people right now, they don't know how to balance any of the things that we talked about earlier. They're struggling. You have to help them. They can't help themselves. And if you want to win, you better help them with their life and their schedule navigation. You know, when you go online today, you see all these mentors that are out there, right? They charge you thousands of dollars to join their mentorship or their mastermind where they can help you and support you. Yet these companies that are out there can provide this internally. There's so many experienced people in the workforce today within companies that we're a part of, that if we just number one, if we're not the leader, but we're just a person in this company, you could ask somebody for help. But as leaders, you should be out there saying, how can I help my people develop? Find the people that want to be developed and put your effort into them, helping them to navigate life and their day-to-day schedule so they can optimize their personal results. So when I showed you how to optimize your results today by focusing on when you wake up, when you eat, when you shower, when you go, and then focusing on those 90-minute work blocks, I'm helping you to navigate your schedule and also navigate your life so you can have optimal results. If you do that for your people, it's going to help them, because I'm telling you, most people, I consult and work with many companies, your people are wasting a tremendous amount of time. And if they're wasting time, they're costing you. They don't want to waste time. They just don't know how to be efficient. You have to teach them. The other thing they need is focus, which is right in line with what I just said. The leader's job is to help their people focus. It's also their job too. Again, I don't enable anybody, but your people may not know what to focus on. I was working with a sales group the other day, an individual on a sales team, and he has, you know, a certain amount of time before this year ends. Yet he's focused on things that are more of a 2021 priority. Meanwhile, he's behind on his sales goals. So what are we focused on? I said, we got to get you focused. We're only focusing on things that matter over the next 100 days. You have 100 days as of today to win 2020. We only shall focus on the things that matter. Everything else has to go. So let's look at your schedule. Let's build out things accordingly, habits and routines, so you could win the next 100 days by only focusing on things that matter. So again, this is what your people want. So they're working from home. We need to help them sort through this. All of this stuff on this slide here will help your people be better at working from home. And lastly, we have to encourage our people to compete like hell. You need to create and develop a culture, whether it's in office or at home, where your people are competitors. They're working for something. That's why when I said reinforce the mission, vision, and goal, personal and professional, it's your job to connect it all. But at the same time, as a leader, keep what they want right in front of their face and let them know how much closer they're getting to it with each success that they have within your company. You got to connect it all for them. You see, there's a difference between leaders and those people that go to work every day. A leader needs to manage themselves as the leader, manage the company as a whole, but also they have to manage their people. Your people need management. And I can't tell you this, how many leaders are in a position of management. Number one, some of them can't manage themselves. And number two, they failed to realize that they were really good at a certain skill, but management wasn't something that they even enjoyed. So this is a conversation I have also. Oftentimes it's amazing how many people are promoted to management positions because they're good at a skill, but one of those skills is not managing people. Yet they've been elevated up the ranks. So it's something that we want to think about. But we got to help our people win. That's what the biggest takeaway is this. As a leader, you look at your board in front of you of all your people and all that you have going on, all that they have going on, and you have to connect the dots for everybody. That is your job as a leader. But coach, I have other things to do. What's more important than helping your people succeed? What's more important than helping your people become more efficient professionally and personally so they can help the company win? What's more important than that? If your people perform, you perform. If your people perform, your company performs. Your business performs. That makes you a winner. Play to win every day by doing what matters. And always keep in front of you how many days are left on the clock. We got 100, folks, as of today. 100 days until this year closes out. I'm telling you, invest in your people the right way. Don't just give them a book and say, here, read this. Development. Develop your people. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to do another webinar with one of my great coaching buddies. He's also a scout in professional baseball. And we're going to talk about developing people, the actual how to connect with them to get the most out of them. Because when you do that as a leader and you get the most out of your people, your company will skyrocket. The culture will skyrocket. The energy, whether you're home or in the office, will skyrocket. People will be very, very excited about what they get to do. Your people don't want to be not focused. They don't want their life and schedule to be a mess. People are dying for structure and efficiency. As a leader, you have to help them get there. So I have 2 more slides, and then I promise you we're free to go. We're free to go lead. But I wanted to leave this with you today too. Everyone must coach themselves to victory. That's my friend, but also one of my longtime clients, Brandon Steiner. You know, he's in his 60s now, and we're at a baseball game together because I believe anyone you work with, you should connect deeper than just the financial transactions. So we've been friends for years, and, you know, he's 60 years old, and he just, you know, he had a company that he started, sold for millions, and he started something new. He challenged himself. He pivoted. And so much of that was because of him coaching himself and understanding this concept of pivoting and changing, but also challenging. So I want to leave you with this because I think it's important that you understand that you can coach yourself every day. And if you teach your people to coach themselves through challenges, through difficulties, through any form of resistance that they face, they're going to tap into power and strength that they didn't even know they had. And that is going to, again, make them better performers within your company. And that's what I am most passionate about. I'm so passionate about people optimizing their performance and meeting and exceeding their potential. That's what I love. I love to coach people to exceed their own potential. And I realize that anybody can do that. And if you have enough people on your team that are open and willing to do that and willing to put the work in, it grows the whole. So you can't forget, behind every title within your company is a person. And that person is dealing with something that's probably different than you and different than the other people. Just this past week, another example, I'm helping somebody that's dealing with a parent that's terminally ill on a sales team. I'm dealing with somebody else that's just struggling to balance their life right now. Everybody has a different situation. Some people are having marital issues because of this working from home. So everybody on your team is dealing with something different. The great leaders and the great leaders that are forever cherished by their people are the ones that invest and get to know what's going on. So I want to share this last with you here. Life and circumstances we all face will always require pivoting, renegotiation, and a spirit that is focused on forward. You will always need to validate yourself. So as much as today was about you as the leader validating your people, I want you to never forget this. Every day you have to validate yourself. You're always going to face a challenge. You're always going to face life and circumstances, much of which you can control, but also much of which you can't. But you have to coach yourself through every moment and know that you will get through every moment. And on the other side, you're going to face some difficulty. You may face some pain as you're going through these moments, But on the other side of that moment, you will be better than before you experience that moment. But you must coach yourself through everything that you face and teach your people to do the same. And if you can do that, game changing. Game changing. You'll feel something inside of you, a sense of security that you haven't felt before. Be your biggest cheerleader. Believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. And if you do that, sky's the limit. All right. So that's my message for all of you today. But like I said, take what I taught you today and bring it to your people. Again, the most important thing you can take away today is that an investment in your people is super, super powerful. And it's something that they won't forget. That's great leadership. Now, I want to also tell you this. Just because you invest in your people as a leader right now doesn't mean that they won't leave you at some point. But you have to do it anyway. So that's my message. If any of you have questions, thank you so much for coming on. And I know everybody's, again, busy, but I also know that all of you have plenty of time. So thank you again for choosing to spend your time with me. And I know I haven't met everybody that's on today, and I would love to. And, reach out to me anytime. I'll put just in the chat, I'll put my email. It's very simple, so you have it. It's Dana@DanaCavalea.com. And reach out, say hello. I always like to know who's coming on, and I love to get to know everybody. I'm a people person because I know the most powerful currency in this world is people. And great leaders understand that, and great leaders invest in their people. So thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Great seeing you. Jim, thank you as well. John Duffin, Sissy, I appreciate everybody. And thank you. And I'm gonna do my best to keep putting these out there. Thank you, Benoit, because I enjoy the connection piece for myself. This helps me connect, and like I said, it helps me live out this my mission, which is to build and develop champions every single day. Devin, thank you. As always, Devin, if anybody's looking for real estate in the Philadelphia area, South Jersey, got to go see my buddy Devin. Becca, great to see you. Scott, Christian, thank you. Bill Gentry's that A+ scout I was telling everybody about. So your guys are gonna, and a great coach, most importantly. He's going to be doing a webinar with me in just a couple of weeks. I think October 7th, I'll be posting that. Andrea, thank you so much. Shelly, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. And we got 100 days left, Shelly. Let's make the magic happen. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. That's great, Scott. I'm glad he's back playing baseball, back on the field. It's always great as an athlete. It's so frustrating when you get an injury and you can't get back on the field because your body's not working. So it's good to see when young athletes get back on the field after a good rehab. Brian, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, everybody. Shelly, thank you again. So I appreciate everybody. And what I'm going to do too, just so you know, Joy's a LinkedIn all-star. You guys have to check her out, Joy McAdams. She definitely helped us fill the house here today. So thank you, Joy. Linda, thank you so much. Jason Phillips, JP, if anybody's looking for an A+ financial advisor with Merrill Lynch, Jason's my guy. But also an incredible talent on the baseball field as well. Logan, thank you. Logan from the UK. Thank you, Logan. Matt, thank you, Matt Kenna. Wendy Marie, one of my coaching all-stars. Arthur, thank you so much. And I appreciate everybody. So, and I appreciate you guys commenting and letting me know you're there. Sometimes when you're talking to a screen, you know, you're imagining who's on the other side, but it's nice to know that you all are out there. So thank you again. And again, shoot me an email if you guys have any personal questions. I'm happy to answer them for you. So I'm going to sign out. I have some coaching to do this afternoon that I'm pretty pumped about. And I will be seeing you all real soon. And I hope you get on the next one. And stay in touch. Any way I can help you, let me know. I'm here for you. Stay strong. You're all champions. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.